So, tell me a little bit. Well, I'm here interviewing Ben Prosky, Director of Events at GSAPP. So, tell me a little bit about how you what's the process for getting people to come speak here? How do you choose people? What's the...
Well, actually, it's funny you should ask because we just had a meeting about that. And we have, with the Dean and with Lucia, who is new helping me this year, and myself, we do a lot of research and we think of names, we think of people that haven't been to the school for a while or have never been to the school. We also notice things that are happening in architectural culture that we think are interesting. And we keep a long running list that we add to. And at certain times we think that it's more appropriate to, pull these names out and see if we can get them for this period. Maybe there's an exhibition, maybe there's a collaboration with another institution that's happening, maybe there's some funding that's come up. So usually we'll sit down with the Dean and see what his priorities are, see what we've figured out. And also a lot of it does come from external institutions, like MoMA often has a conference that's related, or they have an exhibition that's related to architecture, and they'll say, hey, do you want to collaborate on the conference? Or the Guggenheim will do that. We've done things recently with the Guggenheim on the Frank Lloyd Wright exhibit. And also professors, of course. Professors always have ideas, whether they're working on books or they're working on course topics or labs more and more. And their research has come to a certain moment and they want to explore it in a panel. So there are many other ways too that things come in, but it's some ideas.
Cool. So, can you tell us what you think what are you most excited about for the upcoming semester?
Next semester?
Or either this one or next one, with any personal favorites?
Well, one of my personal favorites has already happened, which is the metals conference. The materials conferences are in their third year. We started in 2007 with glass, 2008 with concrete, and with metals, and we hope to do plastics next year. But it's really an extraordinary program. Working with Professor Michael Bell, who's been chairing them, and just coming together with all these different people, everyone from theorists to even artists to engineers to scientists to architects, of course, thinkers, historians, politicians even sometimes, thinking about one material and to express themselves, how they've expressed themselves through this material. And when you think about it, those conferences are 37 to 40 speakers we had this year over less than 2 days, 2.5 days. And that's an entire lecture series, actually, built into one event.
Right.
Because,
crazy.
Yeah. So those are really, really exciting because you just meet so many different people and you have them working on such a specific thing that the constraints are really interesting. Coming up, we have a small symposium on the 13th called Architects' Journeys, which is going to be a series of 6 papers really about the travel that architects do. And architects study buildings from all over the place. Oftentimes they work on sites that they've never been to, or they learn about buildings they've never been to. And in the way that in Aboriginal culture in Australia, Aboriginals do walkabouts. I think that the walkabout in architecture is a pretty significant thing. And this conference, which is brought to us by some colleagues in Spain at the university in Pamplona, who are sponsoring the event, wanted to get an international perspective on it. And so we have a bunch of really wonderful people from the school. We're going to talk about really formidable trips. Now, these trips can either be, once they finish their studies, like a Kinney trip, or someone like Ken Frampton, who, again, to mention Australia, went to Australia not so many years ago and met Glenn Murcutt, and you know, really opened his eyes to sustainability, and so Ken is going to give a paper about, you know, so Ken, who's traveled the world from, you know, and knows so much, just a few years had an experience that he thinks is worthy of that, and he's going to share that with us in the event.
Awesome, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.